And we are going to start the first LA Pig Save.
Woo!
And we are here for the pigs, for the animals that are giving their lives, their lives are being taken from them, and we're going to bear witness to that. So please join us on a regular basis. We'll do it monthly, we'll do it weekly, whatever people can dedicate to us, we will be doing it, and we will bear witness for these poor animals.
We are here outside Farmer John's.
Come on over.
We are here outside Farmer John's, which is described as one of the largest pig slaughterhouses on the west coast of the United States. And these folks here are bearing witness as thousands of pigs come into this facility every day. Take a look at this facility. Thousands of pigs coming into this facility every day to die. And what these folks say, what is the difference? Here is a dog. America is outraged over the killing of dogs in China in the Yulin Dog Festival. And yet here, right here in Los Angeles, we slaughter thousands of pigs a day here at Farmer John. And the folks here are expressing outrage over that dichotomy, over that hypocrisy, that America points the finger at China for killing dogs, which is horrific, but they ask why love one and eat the other. Pigs have actually a higher IQ than dogs, not that it means anything. So let me ask, why are you here today? Why are you here today, and thank you for speaking up.
I'm here to bear witness. Unfortunately, they delayed the trucks, so they knew we were coming, and we tried to fool them with what time we were going to be here. But since we're not here enough, they can afford to delay the trucks and stop their operations and keep those pigs in the trucks to suffer even longer to avoid us. And all we're here to do is bear witness to the pigs, show them some love and compassion, a little water maybe, and show the public that this is not okay.
When you go throughout your day living here in Los Angeles with the knowledge that these animals are coming in, and that according to the Los Angeles Times, over 1.5 million pigs are slaughtered in this facility every year, and that was a 2004 article, so who knows if it's even more than that now. What runs through your heart?
Living every day in LA, knowing this information, knowing that innocent animals are being slaughtered every moment, everywhere, it feels a little like the Twilight Zone, like I'm looking around at people who are committing horrific acts of violence towards sentient beings, and it's like they're all zombies that are just living a certain way because they've been told this is how you live, and I feel it's an odd feeling to know that this violence is not okay.
And Hayes Keith says, and there's always, sort of one snarky comment, have you ever tasted bacon? What would you respond to people who ridicule us for caring about these animals and say, well, essentially their taste buds trump all other considerations?
I don't know. I mean, would they eat dogs? Would they eat cats? And I don't know what to say to those people. Their minds are so brainwashed and intent on living this normality that's really messed up. I don't know what to say to those people.
Well, others have said, Adele Autumn Davis says, thank you for all you do to save living beings. Keep it up, says Joyce Davis. Linda Haight-Hurt says, I love my pork. So what would you say?
It's not your pork. It's the flesh of an animal that suffers every bit as much as we do. It's not your pork. Get that through your head. It's not yours to take. It's not yours to pay somebody else to kill and cut up into 1 million pieces and drain the blood, and then you pay for it. It's not yours.
Well, so, we're getting, as we go live, we're getting different responses. A lot of people are saying positive things. One woman says, vegan bacon tastes great too.
That's right, it does.
Daisy Dry says, I've tasted bacon and I regret it. I felt wrong. I couldn't do it anymore.
It is wrong. You're right.
And Now, I know that there are a lot of leaders of the movement here because many people have come here from the Animal Rights 2016 conference, which is also being held in Los Angeles. Is, for example, Sean Munson here?
He is here.
Can you find him for me so I can talk
Just
to
turn
him?
to your right.
Okay. Sean?
He's on the phone.
Oh, he's on the phone. All right. So Sean Munson, who is the director, producer of the amazing film Earthlings, who has helped so many people go vegan, is here now. He is on the phone. We will talk to him in a second, and we are going to go through and talk to all these individuals who are here. Are you from Toronto Pig Save, sir?
No, but I'm here to support them.
So why are you here, sir?
I'm here to basically support them and to basically support the vigil.
And when you say support the vigil, you know, we deal with people who consider eating bacon a given in this society. How do you approach them psychologically to explain that A, it's not necessary, B, processed meats in general have been determined to be carcinogenic by the World Health Organization? What is your response to those people who scoff and just don't want to deal with this issue and want to continue eating whatever they're eating or whoever they're eating?
Right. I mean, I'm vegan for ethics and for animals. So my message is more about the sentience of animals and the pain and the suffering that they go through. So my thing would be basically more about animals are suffering for your taste buds. So it'd be more about the suffering of animals would be basically my argument.
Well, thank you, and thank you for speaking up for these voiceless animals. Hello, Toronto Pig Save.
Hi.
You are so amazing, and I thank you for speaking up because we're getting some supportive honks here, but it makes it a little noisy. So tell me about this protest.
Well, this is a vigil here in front of Farmer John's. There have been many vigils here once in a while, but what we want is for there to be regular vigils. That's the key in building a massive social movement. So at Toronto Pig Save, we do 3 vigils a week, every week for 5 years. And as a result, there's like 50 save groups around the world. 6 new save groups formed in the United Kingdom as of this year.
And when you say save groups, for people who are not aware of it, Toronto Pig Save started as a group of individuals who simply wanted to bear witness to the suffering of pigs. And their videos are extraordinary. And they essentially go around and they stop these pigs and try to caress their snouts and give them water as they're headed to slaughter. And it's really grown into a global movement. It started in Toronto, and now I believe there are 15 pig saves. 50 pig saves around the world, and this is one of them. And so, people are funny. They say things like Jesus ate bacon. Actually not. Jesus is, the historical documentation is that today he would be considered a radical animal rights activist. The one thing that's historically documented about Jesus Christ is that he went into the temple in Jerusalem and chased out the animals who were destined for slaughter. Ironically, I mean, he would probably not only be considered an animal rights terrorist today, but he would certainly applaud what you guys are doing because he was the one who chased the animals who were destined to be slaughtered out of the temple, thereby saving their lives.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that today is a historic day. Today, LA Pig Save formed, and they're committed to doing regular vigils at Farmer John, starting with monthly vigils and perhaps even going beyond that and doing bi-monthly or weekly vigils. LA is celebrities, musicians, and we're gonna have concerts here with major musicians, and we can shut down the place. Like, there'll be thousands of people here attending concerts, and I just think everyone has a duty to bear witness. That's the message that we're sending out to the world. Like, it's not a choice. It's not something that some activists do. Every single person, whether you're a closet vegan or a vegetarian or a meat eater, we all have the duty not to turn away when they're suffering, but to come close as we can, and to try to help.
So you're saying that there's breaking news that we're breaking exclusively here on Jane Unchained this morning, because guess what? There's no other media here. Even though hundreds of media were informed about this event, they all elected not to cover it, which proves my point about a mainstream media news blackout on animal rights and the vegan lifestyle, and all you have to do is look at the advertisers to find out why. The meat and dairy companies on one end and the pharmaceutical companies on the other that profit when you get sick from all this processed meat. But getting back to it, it's breaking news. You are going to have an official Los Angeles Pig Save that will do regular demonstrations protests and vigils here at Farmer John's. That's breaking news?
That's right. So there'll be monthly vigils and perhaps even more after once things get rolling.
Monthly vigils. And what do you think the impact of that is going to be?
It's going to change the face of LA. People are going to become animal activists. Whenever safe groups forms and people start bearing witness, it creates new activists. Our objective is not just to create vegans, but to create activists, and everyone has an obligation to stand up when there's injustice.
Well, I have to tell you, I took a Lyft car here because I didn't know if I'd be able to find parking. And on the way, the driver was a very nice man, asked me, where are you going? And I spoke to him about it, and I told him the whole story. And, you know, he said, I've never been to this part of LA. And he thought it was extraordinary that there's a pig slaughter operation in the heart of Los Angeles. And I explained to him that this started in the 1930s and then it grew, and eventually a major publicly traded corporation, Hormel, bought this. Those are the makers of Spam. They bought this operation. And so if you ever eat a breakfast patty or a sausage or bacon or ham or pork, you are very possibly eating animals that were slaughtered in this facility behind me. And when you get close enough, you can smell it. You can smell it as I approached. It hit me, and it was very impactful. It's very sad for me personally as a human being to think of that right now thousands of animals behind me are dying. And of course there's no need, because I don't eat them and you don't eat them, and nobody here, I think everybody here is vegan. We know that a plant-based diet is the best diet for you.
That's right. Being here is you can
Speak up a little.
Being here, you can feel the pain and the suffering just across the walls here, and it's so important to seek out sites of injustice and to not turn away. We all have an obligation to bear witness. If we all do that, then we'll have the kind of world that we all want to live in. That is, a non-violent, peaceful, vegan world, and it's up to us to create it.
Thank you. And one last question: if people want to create an operation, a pig save in their own community, there's 50 across the world right now, but there's plenty more than 50 pig operations, pig slaughter and cow slaughter and chicken slaughter operations. What do they do? Where do they go? What's your website?
Contact us at TorontoPigSave@gmail.com or go to TorontoPigSave.org, and we have tips on our website. We will talk to you on Skype or Google Chat and walk you step by step on setting up a new group. There are various databases which show all the slaughterhouses by state, so we can help walk you through that and help you with logos, placards, banners.
What is your name?
My name is Anita Kreintz.
Okay, and how do you spell your last name?
It's KRAJNC.
Okay, thank you for what you do, Anita. You're amazing. I'm going to continue. I understand Wayne Shung of Direct Action Everywhere is here. Do you see him anywhere?
Priya is here.
What?
Priya. Is Priya still?
Signal. Where's we have a signal, and that's great that we have a signal here. I wasn't sure when I came here to do this story live whether we'd even have a signal. Direct Action Everywhere, their motto is "It's not food, it's violence." Why are you here, and thank you for speaking up?
I'm here because I turned vegetarian at the age of 10 when I figured out what meat was, and what is going on here today is inhumane, and it's insane, and we need to speak up, and we need to stop this violence. We need to share what's going on with the world so people see what is happening, so that this cruelty stops and this insanity stops. And
a lot of support from people, which is really wonderful. A lot of people honking here, which really makes the point. It's absolutely amazing that the world is changing. We saw it with the Animal Rights 2016 conference, larger than ever. And this sign, I think, says it all too. Pigs are intelligent and innocent. And what we've just heard today is that there is breaking news, and that we are learning now that there will be regular protests by a Los Angeles pig save. And will you be part of that? Are you from Los Angeles?
Absolutely, I live in LA.
And are you going to be part of the LA Pig Save, coming here on a regular basis to protest and have a vigil?
Absolutely, there's too many healthy alternatives, and there's sentient beings, and there's an animal holocaust happening every day, and they don't deserve it. We need to wake up and support the animals that don't have a voice.
So, we're getting a lot of supportive comments because we're live, but we're also kind of getting some, snarky comments about people. Essentially, they always say the same thing. I love my bacon. What would you say to those people?
It's not your bacon, it's not your body, it's not your personal choice. It affects the planet, it affects the animals, their lives matter to them too, and I think they should just educate themselves a little more, have some compassion.
All right, terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so again, we are here live reporting on this really historic protest. Farmer John's is a ginormous facility, and it has pictures of, happy pigs romping around. The people in here say that actually the existence of these animals is completely hellish. And anyway, they didn't ask to die. And so take a look at this sign, and you can see that the trucks, you can often see when the trucks come in, the snouts of these animals. And they are sticking their snouts through the holes in the trucks, trying to get some air. It's not food, it's violence is the motto of Direct Action Everywhere. And we are getting some support from folks who are driving by and who are honking and who are saying essentially that we support you. So I'm going to go over here and see if and I'm here, Sean Munson. Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, we're live, and I wanted to ask you, you're one of the people who are featured here at this protest. If you could just speak up and tell us why you are here and what this is accomplishing.
Well, here's the thing. What you can't experience is when you're here and the metal is there and the pig is here and you're a breath away from each other. And I'm safe, and this is the hour of that pig's death. And you're looking at each other and you're literally sharing the same breath, and you're just passing in this moment. And locals are irritated because you're holding up traffic. Police are here. Workers are upset and trying to stop you. The activists are here with their emotions and all their feelings, and the animals are going to be killed. And that whole convergence of emotion and facts is such a palpable experience that I'd encourage every activist to come out and to bear witness. Because there's no blood to it, you're not confronted with the worst of the worst, but you come out and you see that in the moments of their death, and having seen a lot of this footage as a documentarian, I've never experienced anything like that before.
And you are the maker of the groundbreaking film Earthlings, who I would say that film has turned more people vegan than any film. And I urge everyone to just watch Earthlings. It's available, I believe, on Netflix, and it's a brilliant documentary. But you're saying that even watching the video, which is so disturbing, is nothing compared to seeing the eyes of these pigs as they go to slaughter, and they are aware.
Yeah.
They are aware that whatever's happening to them is horrific, and that they can smell it.
Yeah. Yeah. Liking stuff, great. Clicking stuff, terrific. Sharing, wonderful. We're in a technological age. However, as Anita says, get your feet, your boots on the ground. Like, be in the place where things are happening and bear witness to it. Don't pull further from it. Look at it. What's the famous quote that we've used before? We must not refuse with our eyes what they must endure with their bodies. So, and you don't even have to witness that supreme moment, that final absolute moment, but just come and bear witness as they're going in. I wish I could get everybody, I wish I could transport this to Times Square. I wish I could bottle this in some sort of a module and take it to Hollywood Boulevard so people could see it, because they don't want to know their food before it's food. And that's a gap we're trying to close.
Thank you so much, Sean Munson, who is one of the key people here at this event. And
he's starting the SAVE group.
Oh, you're starting the SAVE group.
Yes, I am.
Yes, this is excellent. I didn't even know if I was going to get a connection.
Sure.
Thank you, Sean.
Sure.
Tell me what you've decided to do, and I have to say that this is kind of breaking news, right? We are here, and this is something that we are doing that is new. So tell me what you're doing.
Well, basically, we've been wanting to start a LA Pig Safe for quite some time to bear witness to all of the animals that go through this corporation in back of me. And by bearing witness, we see their suffering, we understand their suffering, and it's a way of bringing attention to the fact that these gentle, sentient animals are being butchered every single day, thousands and thousands and thousands of them. And it's right in our own backyard in LA, so we want to start an LA Pig Save where we can bear witness to the pigs that are going through Los Angeles. And Farmer John's is one of the biggest processors of these poor innocent animals, so we want to start something here where we bear witness to their suffering and just let the world know that this is happening here. This is right in our own backyard. And so besides the suffering of these animals, all the other things that are implicated in that, the environmental aspects, everything else that's involved with that. So we're hoping we're going to work off of this spirit and hopefully gain a group of people and have a big presence here.
Well, I hope you include Jane Unchained. We'll be live every time.
We will.
And this started with Toronto Pig Save, some women who said, we can't bear the idea of these pigs driving past us toward their death, and they would just go up to the trucks and try to comfort these animals and give them water, and saying essentially they're just like your dogs or cats at home, and it's jumped to 50.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's more support from people. It's jumped now to 50 worldwide, and I'd say now it's 51.
Yeah,
51.
and we're going to work off of their model, and basically the fact that these animals are more intelligent than your dog and cat, and they're suffering at such numbers, it's just something that we cannot ignore anymore. And we need to make it more public.
I want to read some of the comments. So just by that one bolted together sentence displays how ignorant you are. There's a debate going on in social media. Most of the people who are commenting are saying basically humans don't need meat, they only want meat. But every so often we get one of those, oh, I love my bacon people.
Right.
What would you say, well, everybody's already said it's not your bacon, but what would you say to people who basically insist on joking about this, and they can't bring themselves to really face the reality
the truth of it? I think as kids, we understand the fact that these animals have feelings, that we do not have to have these things in our diet, and it's pretty much knocked out of us by society. And I think it's a reaction that people have because they do not want to admit the fact that they've been doing this for years and years and years, and maybe their family have initiated this to them, and it's becoming truthful with what you see in front of your eyes, opening your eyes, getting back in touch with the innocence that you once had, and realizing that these animals, it's just not necessary. It's a very ego-driven thing to say, I cannot drop meat, I cannot stop my bacon. I mean, it's such a futile argument to say I cannot stop eating one single food to save these poor innocent animals. And if you see the animals' eyes when they're going to slaughter, when you see them when they're suffering, if you can imagine your dog, you would never, ever make that argument again.
Yeah, and America is all upset about the Yulin Dog Festival where they're killing dogs, which of course I'm upset about, but some of those folks there and people in Taiji have also said, well, look at yourself. Look what you do.
Right.
And, before we point the finger, we have to look at a culture at what we're doing. We're killing 9 billion animals in this country every year for food.
That's right.
A lot of them are pigs, and a lot of them are cows.
That's
and
right.
Chickens and feelings, animals with feelings.
And by bringing the dog festival into the play, we can say these pigs and these sheep and these cows have just as much intelligence, just as much love for each other. So it's a good thing that we're raising awareness for that festival, but we need to bring it back home. We need to say that it's happening right behind us every single day. And that's the thing. This is the local thing that we can be protesting, the fact that this is happening behind us, and it's right in our own neighborhoods. So let's...
I went out for 1 second, but thank you, and we will be covering, I just want to say, a vow, Jane Unchained will be covering your live Farmer John protest, because the reason I started this, I've been in journalism for 37 years, but I saw clearly that the news media does not cover this. I know for a fact that all the news media was informed about this, and there is literally no news media here except for Jane Unchained. So we do this work to get the word out through social media and to hopefully reach people through social media, because we need to do an end run. Yay! More people supporting us. Now that happened to be a food truck, so I'm not sure exactly. It's a little confused. But you know, even people who aren't vegan, I think that they have compassion if they're on the journey.
Totally.
And do you notice a change?
A change in people's attitudes?
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the more people are exposed to this, the more people that make the connection, I think the change is happening. I think right now it's like an important time to really act upon these events and just roll off of what's happening in the mainstream public and hopefully bringing it over into their personal lives.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah. And you let me know when these Pig Save events are going to be here, and we will be live. I want to applaud you for your work. And I know I've been looking for Wayne Shung, who is the head of Direct Action Everywhere. Do you see him anywhere?
He's not here, but I can speak.
Oh, okay. You're going to speak for Direct Action Everywhere. And I just asked you to speak up because there's a lot of trucks going by.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me, what is Direct Action Everywhere? Look at this. Whoa!
So Jane, today's actually a really emotional day for me personally because I was part of an investigation which supplies to Farmer John's, and basically we rescued, as a part of DXC, I was an investigator who rescued a little piglet by the name of Miley, and she was going to be killed here. She was going to have her throat slit here, and I'm holding back tears thinking about the fact that she could have been one of the pigs that's inside. And I've held her and brought her back, cared for her when we rescued her from the farm, and I know thousands of other pigs are dying just like her inside, and we need to do something about this. So I'm very thankful to Toronto Pig Save for being here and holding vigil to the animals who are being killed right now.
And one of the things, I'm trying to read these comments in the Sun, but most of the folks here are sending hearts and saying we love what you do. Every so often there's a snarky comment like, oh yeah, Wayne's off eating a burger. We know Wayne is a vegan, is not eating hamburgers. If he's eating a burger, it's a veggie burger. But the point is that you've actually touched these little pigs. I think part of the problem is that a lot of people in our culture have never actually interacted with the pig and don't realize, as I did when I met a pig at a sanctuary, that they're just like our dogs. One was fetching, one was grabbing some stuff out of my purse to play with. I mean, they're like children. They have the emotional development of little babies, little toddler children.
Yes, and I've played with Miley, and she's the sweetest thing ever. Her favorite thing to do, just like dogs, is to play with toys. And she has a little princess pen, and she loves running in and out of it. And part of the problem is that these slaughterhouses are hidden. Why do we have 15 feet walls if they're just petting animals to their happy death?
Well, yeah, I think you're making a reference to a mural. Around Farmer John's. You can't see it, but it shows a bunch of happy pigs. Now, you say you've actually seen the pigs, and they're, there's a hashtag Hormel Hell going around. How would you describe it?
It was the worst place I've been to in my entire life. And obviously it looks nothing like the murals that are behind us. This place was a dark, deep hell. I actually, as a part of our investigation, happened to open a crate just to see what's inside it, and what I came across was dead baby piglets who were beaten to death. And I can never get that image out of my head.
I can't independently confirm the beaten to death. And by the way, I invite Hormel anytime. Come on, you're a publicly traded company. Give us your PR person. We'd be happy to get your side of the story. But I certainly cannot independently confirm the things that everybody here is telling me. But I do know that pigs are killed here. Okay, we do know that. That is a fact.
Yes.
In fact, it's a fact that they boast about. So this was described in a 2004 LA Times article as a highly efficient processing facility in the heart of Los Angeles. When they use phrases like processing facility, are they sanitizing what happens here, which is a very bloody thing?
Yeah, they're definitely sanitizing it. I mean, you don't have to go far. You can literally smell the blood.
Yes, I smell the different smell when I got here. Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Thank you, Anita.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I ran onto the Dodgers field with 5 other activists because the Dodger dogs are the meat is supplied by Farmer John. And after the investigation, me and 5 other activists, we ran onto the Dodgers field with banners saying Dodgers torture animals and animal liberation now. We were tackled by security and taken off the field, but we got national news. We were on Fox News, USA Today, and a lot of other publications getting the message of animal liberation out there and speaking up just like we are today.
Well, what's really interesting it's that essentially, and we're going to switch the gears here, and there we go. We're doing all this live on the fly, so bear with us. But, you know, I heard some people say, oh, you know, that's terrible. They're disrupting the Dodgers game, and how dare they? But here we are. There's a huge group of activists holding a peaceful, nonviolent protest. Where is the news media? Not here. So it's a catch-22. If you hold a legitimate, very quiet, respectful protest to make a very serious point, no media shows up. Zero media. But then, when in desperation to get the word out, yay, more support. In desperation to get the word out, people do something like charge the field at Dodger Stadium. Everybody says, oh, those activists, they're out of control. Well, if you don't think that they should charge Dodger Stadium, then news media, I challenge you to come here and cover this important story. An important story that has to do with human health, climate change, world hunger. We know that heart disease is the leading preventable cause of death in the United States, and we know that it's from arteries that are clogged with cholesterol, and there's no cholesterol in a plant-based diet, so it really has to do with the overconsumption of meat and dairy products. We know that processed meat has officially been labeled by the World Health Organization, summarizing hundreds of studies. It's been labeled a carcinogen. So this is a serious news story. We know that meat production is a leading cause of climate change, far beyond transportation, according to the United Nations. And yet, despite all this, because we live in what Dr. Melanie Joy, a Harvard-trained social psychologist, describes as a carnist society, an oppressive system where we are absolutely ignored, we can't get this message out without doing things that then people say, well, that's over the top. So what's your reaction to that?
I mean, we're not disrupting the peace, because where there is violence, there is no peace. There was no peace at the Dodger Stadium, so we disrupted the violence, not the peace. And we
all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on over here. Somebody, as we wrap up, somebody else wants to say something. And, oh, you're a special guest. Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry, let me know who you are and what your message.
I'm Laura Maddox, and I'm an actress here. I've recently moved here to film a feature called Ibsen's A Doll's House. And I'm here as an activist. I'm here with Toronto Pig Save and the NETA, and I'm here basically to bear witness to the horrific conditions. I've just been seeing the mural and how horrific it is, showing how wonderful these pigs' lives are, and actually behind the closed corrugated iron doors how horrific it is, and how they're getting dehared and all the slaughter that's happening with
I can't independently confirm details of the operation, but I certainly can say that pigs die here because that's a publicly known fact. Thousands of them. And according to a 2004 LA Times report, they said at that time more than 1.5 million pigs died every year. So thousands of pigs are dying here every day.
Yeah.
So do you see a lot of people, you know, who are unaware in Hollywood that one of the largest pig slaughter operations, well, and arguably the largest pig slaughter operation on the West Coast, is right here in our city. What is that? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very much like I want to promote it as much as possible in the media. Every interview I do, in every, to the people on set, to as many people in the film and music industry that I meet, and to let them know that Farmer John's is right here, and they should be coming to bear witness as well, because bearing witness and seeing everything firsthand, and actually seeing the pigs in the trucks and knowing those looks in their eyes, and the fact that they all have a soul exactly like we do, and that connection to the soul should, if they have their soul, will actually feel what those pigs are feeling. That's what I'm trying to say. And I know lots of people who have instantly turned vegan because of it, and I've managed to alter some perceptions so far, and I want to continue doing that more and more, as much as humanely possible.
Well, I totally agree with you, and in fact I was trying to convert our Lyft driver because he wanted to know why I was going to this sort of odd, you know, out of the way part of Los Angeles, and I explained the entire thing to him. And I think it got to him. I don't know if he's going to go vegan, but I think that he's certainly going to think twice before ordering a meat product. again. Now, do you find it interesting or suspicious that no mainstream media is here, even though all the mainstream media was notified of this protest?
I do. I feel that unfortunately the guilt that people feel in relation to meat will at some point be taken away, but I feel that that's why they didn't, was the meat industry and the corporations and the people who are making the decisions because of money, because of power and money, and it's actually completely against the human heart. It's not, it's just materialism, and that's why the other media haven't turned up. That's what I feel, because they're driven and they're paid by people who buy meat and are probably putting money into meat production.
Well, I want to thank you for using your celebrity and your voice to speak for these voiceless animals. And I want to say as we wrap up, because we've talked to a lot of people here at this event, that Jane Unchained is going to continue going live from the LA Pig Save demonstrations, protests, visuals here at Farmer John. We've been told that, you know, we don't see trucks coming in, and that I don't know if this is accurate, but that they may be waiting till we go away. When you see these trucks, it's heartbreaking because you see the little snouts poking through. And some say it's the only time, you know, that they're going to see the sky and the light of day is on this brief trip to slaughter, or maybe a long trip to slaughter, depending on where they come from. The world is changing. Animal Rights Conference 2016 was massive. We know that the millennials are getting this message on social media. The mainstream media isn't covering it, and you know, it's obvious why. I mean, you look at the advertisers; they profit from they're the advertisers. The advertisers of the meat and dairy industry and the pharmaceutical industry. So when people get high cholesterol or erectile dysfunction as a result of their arteries being clogged, their veins being clogged, then they get to sell them pills. So that's why there's no mainstream media coverage. But we're here. We're going to continue to cover this, and we're not going to stop. So I'm going to end by doing a final walkthrough of the protest, and then I'm going to sign. Thank you, everybody who listened. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone who took part remotely in this demonstration. Those of you who are bearing witness to this. And I would love to talk to you for a second. Thank you for being here and lending your voice. And if you could speak up a little bit.
Yes.
We've got a lot of trucks going by, but tell me your involvement and why you are here lending your celebrity and your voice.
This is my first time coming to a vigil to bear witness. This is about empathy. This is about having empathy for these poor animals who are enslaved, and they've become commodities, and they have no freedom in their lives. And if I can, in one brief moment, let them know how much we care about them, I want to take that opportunity to do that.
Now there is an LA Pig Save, the 51st Pig Save. It started with Toronto Pig Save, and now it's grown. Will you be joining the vigils and protests here in Los Angeles?
I will, yes.
Wonderful. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much for lending your voice.
Thank you too.
I'm going to wrap up by just showing you the size of this protest, and it's considerable. And again, no mainstream media news coverage. So are you getting the real story? Are you getting the real story when you watch the news? You know, after the World Health Organization determined that processed meats are carcinogenic, doctors actually got up and said, whoa, we're getting some more honks of support here. Doctors actually got up and said, well, everything in moderation. Do they tell people to smoke in moderation? Really, we live in a society where this message is being blocked because people don't want to have to change their ways and because people profit off of it. Follow the money. And once again, Farmer John's and Hormel, you're invited on any time. I would love to talk to you and hear your side of the story and find out what exactly you would like to say about these protests and what's your side of the story. We know that this is a very, very large facility, and I think that but I'm going to end by saying that This is America, and in America, we get to express ourselves. That's the fundamental right of our society. More support. That's the fundamental right of our society. The ability to express ourselves. That's what makes America what it is. And these folks are expressing themselves. And I guess if you had to sum it up, they say, what's the difference? If you love your dog and are upset about people in China eating dogs, why aren't you upset about your own consumption of pigs who are just like dogs? Indeed, they are smarter than dogs. Not that intelligence should determine whether or not you kill somebody and eat them. So, reporting from the vigil outside Farmer John's here in Los Angeles, I'm Jane Velez Mitchell. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.